Good morning to you, Lagos. Welcome to the second part of Dailies today. As I always say, don't miss the first part at all. The first part usually starts at around 6:15, weekdays, Monday through Friday. This is the second part. And I am Sheriff Quadry. And I've got joining us virtually, as always, Dr. Majeed Dahiru joins us from the FCT. Dr. Majeed, thank you, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Sheriff.
That's right. Good morning, sir. Let's start. We're going to start with the major story on the front pages of the papers today, and that is coming through from the Rivers State. The state, an interesting state, if you like. Vanguard has it this way. Rivers Assembly resumes sitting. Fubara fails to show up. That writers like a House urges Fubara to forward commissioners list. Appropriation bill asks governor to probe IBAS's expenditure. Massive crowd leave in disappointment after waiting 12 hours. I've spoken to Fubara. He assured he will resume. Wike speaking there. Ads have forgiven him. IBAS quits, seeks support for Fubara, says Tinubu mandates achieved. Caution against crippling state again. Tinubu playing God in Rivers. ADC, Atiku, Obi, others speak. Dr. Majeed.
I don't know how to actually laugh. I'm not supposed to be crying because, first and foremost, I'm one of those who believe that a state of emergency in Rivers, as at the time it was declared, was unnecessary. It was politically motivated and not motivated by any security concern. And all of the parties actually agreed to it. Like I said, we did it to save Fubara from impeachment. So clearly, it was a politically motivated state of emergency, and which runs contrary to the Constitution. The intendment, the spirit, and the letters. I wish politicians can actually continue their shenanigans without tampering, without misinterpreting, without misusing very critical aspects of the Constitution, such as the one that makes room for state of emergency when there is indeed a grievous security situation that is beyond the control of the state government. Having said that, constitutional scholars have also argued that even when there is a need for state of emergency, as was the case in the Northeast, the president does not have powers within the state of emergency law to unilaterally remove elected government structures across board. And so what that means is that even if you're going to declare state of emergency, the governors, elected governors and assemblies will be in place to help manage security with the federal authorities. However, that has happened. It is now in the past, but it has created a precedent that future presidents might use against unruly in their opinion. So whether Fubara is going to resume or not, he will resume. He has not rejected, he has not resigned as a governor.
That's great.
He has not rejected the offer, the magnanimous offer of having his suspension terminated within the first 6 months, because according to the president, it was 6 months in the first instance, meaning that if he didn't behave well, it could have been extended. So I'm sure he will resume anytime it's convenient for him to resume. And the situation will unfold as we observe. But I have this ominous feeling, this airy feeling, that the crisis in Rivers may not just have come to an end. That this might in fact be the beginning of a fresh crisis politically within the same camp. I don't know, something simply is telling me that. I don't know what it is. But what I'm looking at in my crystal ball, that what we have in Rivers is an uneasy piece. It's the piece of the graveyard, if you like. There's something still not right about the entire settings. So for me, if you ask me, for peace to reiterate onto Rivers, will it be for Minister Jason Wike right now to now learn to leave Fubara alone, to do as he wants, while Fubara himself should concentrate on what seems to be like a fairly good performance while he was in office, which has resulted into massive support for him on the streets of Rivers State. Because the crowd that gathered at government yesterday were unsolicited. You could see that it was organic. The man is really popular on the streets. And if you observe closely when he was in power, the few months he spent as governor, he brought some level of empathy to governance. He was one of the first governors to increase minimum wage. He did a lot by way of welfareism for the people. So they saw a different approach to government. And he was a very humble governor, calm, easygoing, soft-spoken. So I'm sure they really want such kind of empathic leadership for themselves as a state. So he should continue along that line. That should have shown him clearly. That's where his strength lies now. Delivery of good governance to the people. He should not look back at all. He should forget politics and politicking. He can't beat this man to it. I mean, so but one strength he can actually leverage on now is delivery of good governance. Let him continue and deliver it as much as he can do, even much more than he did before. Why is some wicked things now? I don't think, if for instance he complains about Fubara again, I doubt the president will declare a second state of emergency to bring Fubara to order. I doubt. So for me, he has exhausted his lifeline. He's had his way. He's conquered Fubara. He's won the victory. But he's won the battle. But so that he doesn't lose the war in the long run, he should now also readjust and allow the man to be within certain levels. If he tries to tell him one or two things to do and the man resists, let him just not make trouble about it and just focus on his job in FCT and let the state have some respect.
One thing I'd like you to clarify for me and for the listener is the fact that the House of Assembly is asking him to forward the list of his commissioners. And I'm wondering, he had his commissioners before the state of emergency was declared. Could it be that, I mean, is he bound statutorily, constitutionally, the moment he was, do you know what the word that is coming to my head now? Overthrown. What I'm not going to use it. The moment the state of emergency was declared, does it mean that he has to now afresh send a new list of commissioners? Because I'm wondering why the state of assembly would be asking him to put together, send them the list of his commissioners again.
So I'm saying I have a strong feeling that the crisis will not be over. Now, this demand coming from the House of Assembly is unwarranted. It's not in their place to demand for a list of commissioners to be declared. It's not in their place at all. That's an overreach of their responsibilities. It's the prerequisite. It's at the exclusive prerogative of the executive governor to make his list of nominees for commissionership available at any time he feels like it. While we will always advocate for early formation of cabinets and government so that you can hit the ground running almost immediately. For me, a government that is newly sworn in or one that has not been returned from suspension shouldn't take more than a week or two to start a cabinet so that you have the complement of a full government to deliver your mandate within the 4 years you are given. So I'm not one of those who believe that the president or governor should wait for 1 year. But then the assembly, the legislative arm of government, does not have the right to demand thereof or therefrom the executive. It's like the executive telling the assembly to constitute their standing committees quickly so they can begin the oversight function. You are trying to interfere in another arm of government. And that's what I'm saying. That tone of bringing the list shows that there still be trust between these two arms of government or these two camps in the River State. So they're trying to put the governor on the spot to say, probably they have an agreed list that he must submit. So they're trying to put him on the spot so that he does not do otherwise. Though I'm saying the tension will still simmer a bit. Because whether I like it or not, Fubara will feel very embittered that he was humiliated. He cannot easily let go. While he is returned as executive governor, I doubt again if for any reason there's a breakdown of friendship between him and Wike, whether the president will be calling for that state of emergency, I doubt if he will do that. This time, the matter allows Fubara to just complete his tenure and just go. So all parties will be guided properly. But I have a very strong feeling that with that statement coming from the assembly, it means that it's still so much of unresolved issues that is still simmering beneath the surface.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to our next story because I was going to dwell a little bit more on that story because we don't even know where the governor is now and what that could possibly mean is what people have been talking about. What could be the meaning of that? I mean, a day such as yesterday was a big day, was a very, very big day. I wouldn't know why the governor didn't show up. Nobody seems to have, um, a d- well, an explanation as to why the governor didn't show up when he was supposed to show up. Whether he was avoiding something or he wasn't avoiding anything, we don't know. So I was I was going to dwell, but let's move on because of time, Dr. Majid. Let's move on. I'm going to go through a couple stories here and see if we can get one or two of them to jump on. Nigerians lucky Tinubu is tolerant of criticisms. That's Wike. The story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. I have another one here that says Ohaneze rallies Igbo for voter registration. 6 Kanus released. That story is also on page 3 of the Punch newspaper here. Now let's go to the Metro page of the paper. In the Metro page of the paper, I have this one here that says 1,666 Lagosians died from suicide, homicide in 5 years. This is according to the police official record that the police has. 1,666 Lagosians died from suicide, homicide in 5 years. According to the police. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to quickly jump on another story here that says $1.6 million fraud. U.S. to deport Nigerian after 6 years jail. $1.6 million fraud. U.S. to deport Nigerian after 6 years jail. That story is right here in the Punch newspaper, pages 4 and 5. You can pick that up and read further. Let me quickly go ahead and take a few more stories. Let me take a few more stories very quickly. I have, let's go to the Guardian newspaper here. Brain drain, exhausted doctors, long wait times, test public hospitals' care capacity. Brain drain, exhausted doctors, long wait times, test public hospitals' care capacity. It is a big story in the Guardian newspaper. You'll find the story on pages 4 and 5 if you're interested in this story. Pages 4 and 5, that's where you would get that story. Let's see if we can. We've lost contact with Dr. Majeed. Let's see if we can get him back on the line as soon as possible. Suspense, delusion, or disillusion as Fubara fails to show up after emergency rule ends. Of course, yes, that would definitely happen. People will be wondering what could be going on with their elected governor. FG unveils innovative loan scheme for retirees. FG unveils innovative loan scheme for retirees. Stories on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary, says Jonathan. Investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary, says Jonathan. That story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. I have another story here in the Guardian before we move on to the Daily Trust. National Assembly withdraws contract circulars as 23.9 trillion naira capital budget rolls into 2026. This is also very, very important. Very, very, very important. National Assembly withdraws contract circulars as 23.9 trillion naira capital budget rolls into 2026. It is right here in the Guardian newspaper. You can pick it up and read further if you are interested in that story. Now we're going to move on very quickly now to the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's go to the Daily Trust newspaper. Lagos building fire, survivors, experts blame slow response. Lagos building fire, survivors, experts blame slow response. The story is on is in the Daily Trust newspaper. If you're interested, you can pick up the paper and read further. I'm trying to get Dr. Majeed on the phone. Dr. Majeed, thank you for rejoining us.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Network is terrible here.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So we're going to go back to a particular story that I had read earlier. It's in the
Okay.
yes. Let's take this one in the Guardian newspaper. Investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary, says Jonathan. What's your thought on this? Don't politicians know this already?
They know, but it's something that we need to take very seriously. You can't, on one hand, globetrotting looking for investors, wasting public resources going about, while the political system in the country discourages investment because of this singular factor. You see, an investor simply wants the law to be the law, to be interpreted fairly, without interference from entrenched political interests that may sometimes be against their own interest. So people want the law to just be the law, equal, even, impartial, without discrimination. The law is the law. In some jurisdictions, once there is an issue that goes for the court, everybody knows the outcome already. So even those that are trying to maybe make a case against the predicted outcome will be based on reduced sentencing, for instance, a leniency, and otherwise. But it's clear. This is what the law says. And not in those jurisdictions, cases don't drag for too long. It's clear, it's straightforward. It's logical, it's commonsensical. I have always advocated that in addition to non-political interference, we need to underscore, underline, underpin our judicial with the morality of the rule of law. People often argue that there's no morality in law. I say, no, there is morality. Because the law was crafted to safeguard morality in the first place. And so any law without that moral ingredient, that moral element, is hollow, shallow, and of no use to anybody, neither to the citizen nor to the state. So it is important to pay attention to our judiciary. Once we're able to standardize our judiciary, and it becomes above board like Caesar's way, that alone will incentivize inflow of investment. But in Nigeria today, laws are interpreted according to which interpreted and on whose behalf. I've interacted with a lot of young lawyers. They are disillusioned, they are disappointed with the system. Because as a lawyer, you are taught certain things in law school, but in practice, it does not apply anymore. So as a young lawyer, you don't even know the briefs to accept with certainty, knowing that, okay, as I'm going to court to argue this, you get justice. And they don't know anymore. It's that serious. So something needs to be done holistically to reform the judiciary. And it is our own self-enacting interest.
It's as though the network is not our friend today. Dr. Majeed, if you're listening to us, we're going to end it today. Let's leave it here for this morning. Let's use the remaining time that we've got to open up the telephone lines and talk to our audience out there. The network isn't friendly at all today. We've tried Zoom, we've tried WhatsApp call, all not working perfectly. Definitely, perhaps because of the distance or something. But let's use the remaining time. We've got about 6-7 more minutes left on the show. Okay, the phone lines will be opened. Let's talk Lagos. 0201 277 0993. That is 0201 277 0993. And 0201 465 7190 for the telephone for the ladies. 0201 465 7190. Please turn off your radio if you're calling me, and you have got 60 seconds to share your thoughts with me. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
My name is Mr. Femi from Elegushi.
Welcome, Mr. Femi.
Yes. Sheriff, like what your guest is saying, the judiciary is a place, a body where an ordinary man will run to, or anybody will run to if he feels cheated in order to get justice. Even individuals in civilized countries even sue the government and even win the government. But today in Nigeria, or even in another person, for them to invest in Nigeria, they are afraid that even when the government, any policy that the government decide to introduce, even if they charge the government to court, they have already known that the government will defeat them. So tell me, in such an economy, tell me how an investor will come and invest where he will be intimidated by the government. If they have any issue that they will sue the government, they have already known that the government has won. And even if the policy is the one that will crush their company or take up their capital, their investment is lost. Tell me in such condition, which individual or which group of company would like to invest in such unfertile land?
Yeah.
The judiciary system needs to be fixed in order for investors to have the confidence of investing in Nigeria. If not, the business atom of Nigeria will be crashed off and Nigeria will be a complete failed.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, too. Thank you for sharing your thought. Good morning to you. Please turn off your radio. Jerry. Good morning to you.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, you're calling the female line.
Oh.
Yes, you are. Sorry. Do try and call the male line back there now. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. You are on to Felix from Ikorodu.
Let's hear you.
Sheriff, thank you very much. You see, no investor can enter this murky water of politics in Nigeria because the governance is not settled, and anything can crop up. You cannot throw your money into the drain because that is what we are seeing. And let me tell you, see, Sheriff, you know how volatile our state is, Rivers. I'm from that region. And it's unfortunate that Wike has won the battle. He has not won the war. This thing you people are seeing is an obscured, you know what, the obscured
I really want to talk to you, but your background is extremely noisy. Extremely noisy. You need to get a quiet place and call me back, huh? I will speak to you again. Call me back if you can. Good morning to you. Morning.
Good morning. This is Patrick calling from Ojota.
Welcome, Patrick.
Yeah, I don't think Fubara would be foolish enough to come back because the state assembly may impeach him. So for him now, I think if he resigns now, what is going to happen? If he resigns as a governor, what is going to happen? That's my take. Okay,
all right. I think that this is probably his deputy would take over. His deputy governor would take over. That should be the rightful thing to do constitutionally. Unless lawyers start saying that they came into power on a joint ticket, so if the governor resigns, then it means that the two people would go, and then the speaker will take over. As speaker of their house now will take over. Okay, so it didn't come out well. The Speaker of the State House Assembly, would take over until a new election is conducted and blah, blah, blah. Lawyers can go through that, okay? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Morning to you.
Quick one. Osun State, their local government fund, they went to court up to today. They did the election in Rivers. Supreme Court said no, it's not avoid that be which grammar they use. But when they do the one APC win everything, it become legal. Like Jonathan said, our judiciary, any state, anywhere where the judiciary, the politicians have their way, things will never work. Like I always say, let's build strong institutions, not strong men. Fubara, if he goes, like you said, the deputy should take over. The lady should take over. Let get democracy given to the Rivers people. Thank you, Onyemaduko.
Thank you too for calling. And please always turn off your radio when you call in. Good morning to you. Oof. Turn off your radio, please, and call me back. That was very, very uncomfortable. Please turn it off when you call. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Yes, please.
It's Mara speaking to you from Ekwe.
Welcome, Mano.
What happens if Fubara does not show up today again? The environment is most likely going to be confusing people. At this point, if I'm Fubara, I most likely not show up, because
why?
Everything is rigged against me. I listened to the interview of Wike yesterday.
Yes.
He said Fubara has input in the local government election. I want to ask you, everybody who supported Fubara, where are they today? They have been sidelined in the local government election, even in the governance, of Itai. So it's more likely coming to okay. What if Fubara has said that he has interest, that his people should be nominated? Probably the state of Imagine will still remain because they will say he's still arrogant and so on. So I can't be working in an environment, that is not conducive for me. Good morning to you, Sheriff.
Morning to you, Emmanuel. Thanks for calling me. Appreciate your time. Okay, so look, he was elected by the state. The state, his people, they came out yesterday to come and welcome him back, from whatever it was that he went on, suspension or something. Again, that thing is coming to my head, but let's not say that. And I'm wondering, why would he not show up as the governor of the state? Look, we have to go now. Kofi is back with the remaining part of the morning crossfire.
7 p.m. Don't knack, na yellow clock be that.
Yes, so better don't come as the MTN Mega Billion promo don't land.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.